reach Europe. The International Organization for Migration says so far this year, more than 2,800 migrants have died in the Med, most of them trying to cross from Libya into Europe. My next guest knows this issue better than almost anyone. Francesco Rocca is the new president of the International Federation of the Red Cross, and he joins me now live from Antalya, Turkey. Mr. Rocca, first of all, we don't talk about it as much. It's kind of fallen away from the headlines. But the number of migrants who drowned in the Mediterranean is still in the thousands every year. Are the European countries living up to their obligations with regards to these migrants?
Of course they are, and this is very, very sad. We have tried to speak up, to make their voice listened, but we didn't succeed. I think the selfish in Europe is prevailing, and this is very, very sad. And the volunteers of the Italian Red Cross were there in the port receiving those migrants and those 26 dead bodies. It was a very sad moment. Because this has happened too many times, and to be sincere, we have enough, because they are responsible for these deaths. This is not, they are not responsible. We know perfectly who is not taking care of them, who is not taking care about protecting their life and their dignity.
But who is not taking care of them?
On my view, of course, who they cause them to flee from one hand, and who is not taking care about their obligation, not fulfilling their obligation. You recall it, there are clear obligations, and these people is escaping from a country war, because technically the Libya is a country war, and we have an obligation to receive the people who is escaping from a country war. And I'm not talking about only the humanitarian aspect, but also about according to the international humanitarian, the international law. And this is an obligation to receive and protect people who's escaping from a country war. And,
so would you say European countries are living up to their obligations under international humanitarian law, or not?
International law for sure, and this is something that is very sad, because when you do not scale up the operation in the Mediterranean to save life from people who's escaping from this country, of course there is a responsibility. When you don't support the path of these people, or you do not reallocate the people who has arrived in Italy or in Greece and are stuck in this country, and giving them no hope to have a better life from the place where they escaped, this is something that must be fixed. And we have said several times, we are ready to engage the European Union and all the governments involved in a new discussion to protect the life and the dignity of these people.
Let me ask you about the Rohingya Muslim minority. Do you believe what's happening with them is ethnic cleansing?
Look, I've not been in Myanmar. I've had the experience of visiting Cox's Bazar in Bangladesh, and what I have seen is something that I've never seen in my humanitarian life. I've been in several places, and I've unfortunately had the experience of so many crises, but never has touched me and struck me like has happened during this visit in Cox's Bazar. Think about a town of 600,000 people built up in only a few weeks, 4 or 5 weeks, without no water, no electricity. Think about what happened to the children that live in that condition in the night, when there is no light, everything is dark, and you only think people crying or the voice of the people, but you don't see anything. And this is something very scary. It's something that is unbelievable. It seems to go in the hell.
Yeah.
It's something that I cannot wish to anyone to have the experience of this, and think that there are thousands of children with no relatives and no parents living in that condition.
Francesco Rocca, thank you so much for joining us from Antalya, and good luck there as you head the International Federation of the Red Cross. Thank you. We'll be right back on CNN.